Hi, this is David Avellan, and if you came here looking for the Kimura trap system, which includes the 6 DVD set, the 110-page book, and the mind map, I'm sorry, but it's sold out. I don't have any more copies left, and there's nowhere else where you can get it. Unfortunately, I don't know when I'm going to be re-releasing it, but what you still can get is the free Kimura trap system DVD, which includes 5 techniques off my Kimura trap system that you won't find anywhere else. So to pick up a copy of the free DVD, just fill out your name and your email on the form to the right, and I'll get you started so you can get your free DVD sent to your home. You can also watch this video and leave a comment below to let others know what you think about the Kimura trap system. Thank you and enjoy the video. The Kimura trap is the basis of this series, all right? And we're going to be going into exactly how to set it up. Now, there's many ways that we can get into it. The first one is the most common, and it's what we're going to learn first. And that is executing the Kimura trap from the head inside single leg, right? So our opponent is going to initiate a single leg, and we're going to counter with the Kimura trap. I'm going to go ahead and show you how it looks like. Let's go ahead and break it down. So, from our feet, our opponent shoots a head inside single leg. Okay? So he could be on his knees or he could be standing up. Either way is fine. So we're going to do it while he's standing. So he has my leg, and again, head is on the inside, on the front of my chest, as opposed to the outside. Okay, so his head's right here. At this point, what I want to do is I want to stuff his head. Okay, so now I could put my chest over his back, right here. And this hand now that's over is going to reach between his arm, and then my other hand is going to grab, or hook, I should say. I'm going to use a hook here over his wrist, hook my own wrist. And you can see right now I have a Kimura on that arm. If Jason was to let go entirely, go ahead. This would be, boom, a Kimura right here. All right, so again, stuff the head, come through, boom. Now, the first part of the move is set. What's different here is that when I'm doing the Kimura, I want to have his arm as bent in as possible. Right? So I want to pull his wrist as high up into his chest as I can, and I want to try to get my chest as tight to his arm as possible. Okay, so if I can get here, it's going to increase the chances of finishing this trap. Okay. Now, to spring the trap, this leg is going to hook on the bend of his knee, boom, right here. And now I'm just going to sit down to my butt. The way you want to think of it is like you're doing a one-legged squat. Okay, so I'm coming here, boom, and throw. Let's do that again from another angle. Okay. Stuff, boom. All right, and what you want to see is that once my butt is about to hit the ground, my leg that's hooking is going to kick and throw him over my back. All right, so here, squat, boom. At this point, okay, we're now in what we call like the TV position, if you will, right? Where I'm sitting down, he's got his head on my lap, and we're watching TV here, all right? He's getting nice and comfortable. I have the Kimura set. You notice my grip is in front of his head, all right? So his head is like resting on my hips, on my stomach. I got my Kimura here. Now here, what's really important is that you have a very strong grip, okay? So once again, I want to have his arm as bent as possible, meaning that his wrist should be high up towards his chest, even underneath his chin. Okay, so I'm pulling the arm in here. I'm also pushing downward, trying to bring his fist like through his chest. Okay, now let's rotate the angle, come a little bit over here. Okay, Now on this side, right, what's important is I want to have this elbow as high off the mat as I can. Right? And the reason why is that right now you might be thinking, you know, Jason could roll and get on top of me. He goes, okay. He's stuck. All right? And the reason is because of this Kimura. All right? One, by keeping his arm bent in, I'm taking away a lot of power from him on his shoulder. And two, the main thing is that without this elbow, he can't develop a base. All right? But if I was just loose here and he turns, boom, he can get on top. But if you notice, all right, he had to build his base on this elbow so that he can bring his hips up and over. Right? So the key to controlling this, all right, is to have it up. So what I'm doing with this arm, I'm extending. Okay, I'm here and I'm extending forward. Here, boom. It's also going to put a lot of pressure on his forearm. It's going to be very uncomfortable for him because I got the blade of my forearm going against the meat of his forearm. Here, boom. Okay, so this part you want very tight. Finally, you want to be resting on your side. As you see, I am here. My legs should be close to his shoulder here. All right, so I'm not spaced out like this, all right, where his head can touch the mat. I'm very tight to him right here. Boom. Okay, so at this point, this is like the Kimura trap. You've snapped it, and now you're ready to go into a finish. So that was the Kimura trap from the head and side single leg. Let's go over some common mistakes you can make when doing the Kimura trap from the single leg. Okay, so the opponent shoots the single, he comes up, all right? Now, for this particular finish, I want the head on the inside, okay? The head pops to the outside. I could still go for a Kimura and hit the trap, but it's gonna be different. So if you're landing funny, that's probably why, okay? So head on the inside, I reach through the arm, okay? And here's where I see a lot of people goof up on, all right? So I want my other arm to go in front of his head. Sometimes I see people coming in like this, okay? Which again, you could still do this, but it's gonna come out different, all right? And you're gonna land weird, and you're gonna think something's wrong, all right? So for this particular trap, I wanna go in front of his head, like I'm gonna throw an elbow right here, boom. Okay? And again, make sure you have your grip right, all right? When we're doing this arm is sewing the needle, right? Going under and over. This hand is controlling the wrist. So I make my Kimura here. All right, so again, when he's here, I stuff, boom, boom. Now, here, this leg should always kick. Okay, if you just fall straight back like this, okay, sometimes he'll still be holding on to your leg. Sometimes you might not even be able to get him over, and he might be still on top of you, and you're like this, okay, which is obviously an inferior position. All right, so you always want to use that leg to snap and throw him over. Okay, so when he comes in, you really want to launch him. Okay. Now from here, okay, the key part is control. All right, let's adjust it a little bit. Turn this way. Okay. When I'm here, the arm has to be really tight. If you're just loose, you know, like this, he'll be able to roll into you, especially if he's an athletic person who's very explosive. You won't have any power here. Okay, this has to be extending, all right, bringing his elbow away from the mat, pulling his wrist in, pushing down, here, boom. Okay, without this, you're not going to be able to keep him down here for long. If you do this right, you can keep him here as long as you want. All right. The other thing is that you got to make sure your body is tight to his. Sometimes when you throw the man, you might end up where you're like a little detached, and then even if you're doing this right, just because of the angle, he could still be able to turn in and get on top. So when you throw him, if you do end up like this, you got to scoot in right away, get tight, all right? And then make sure you're driving this arm across. This is key to be able to use the Kimura trap. If you don't have good control here, the trap's not going to work for you. All right, so you got to make sure that you have this down before you work on any of the finishes. All right, so that is the Kimura trap. Common mistakes people make setting it up for the head and side single leg.
If you enjoyed the Kimura trap system technique you just saw, leave a comment, share it with a friend, or just like it to let people know your opinion. And if you want to learn more techniques on the Kimura trap system, get the free Kimura trap DVD, which has 5 techniques that you can't find online, and all you gotta do is put in your name and your email on the form to the right to get access to that free DVD. Thank you and have a great day.